Now, when I was a kid, not really a kid, but I was like 12. But when I was younger, I'm like 24. But I'm not like I am 24. I remember Harrison Barnes on that UNC team, and it was really fun. They were like really fun to watch, but it was definitely interesting to see how that's all played out. Either way, how his career has played out because we thought he was going to be a lot better than he actually is. Harrison Barnes and Mr. Kevin Huerter himself are both two dudes that are expected to perhaps be made available for trade. I think Kevin Huerter is way better than people give him credit, but injuries and I guess it would be effectiveness and the contract a little rich for him for his what he brings you. So as a result, he's one of those guys that seemingly people are cool with kind of like saying, oh, let's move on. And combining his salary with Harrison Barnes brings it to about $34.6 million that one would be probably willing to trade. And I understand. I understand that looking at two guys like first off, what are you getting with Harrison Barnes at this point in his career? Harrison Barnes is a guy that when you look at him, I think he's absolutely fantastic. I think he's a guy that's going to come in and give you what you need, which is shooting, some rebounding, but it's a little rich. It's not a cheap contract. Seriously, it's not a cheap contract. It's a contract that for a lot of people, we would just all say like, it's not worth it for a player of his magnitude. It's not worth it in today's NBA where I don't think his effectiveness is what it used to be. And I think that's where a lot of people would agree that he's somebody we would. I think if they can package Harrison Barnes and Kevin Huerter for Kyle Kuzma and somebody else on that Wizards roster, I think that combination of players could suit them way more than I'm trying to think of someone that they could ask for, like a Jared Butler, and I don't think they need Jared Butler, but if they ask for Pat Baldwin and Landry Shamet, and here's a good one: Kyle Kuzma and Landry Shamet for Harrison Barnes, Kevin Huerter, and this year's first round pick. Would you guys do that? Or am I asking for too much? I don't think that's too much. Do you guys? I think that's a decent deal. I feel like if we do all that, it's really not too crazy. And plus, if you look at it, they're I think this is a team that they just need a fresh kind of coat of paint because they've kind of put themselves in a position that is similar to the Wizards, and that is just being locked into a team that is either the sixth seed or a play-in team. So let's just go ahead and let's act like we are the Sacramento Kings real quickly, ladies and gentlemen. And the Sacramento Kings were the ninth seed, and let's do the Washington Wizards because would not mind. I would not mind if we went ahead and we asked ourselves, hey, let's get a group of men by the name of, I think, yeah, this year's pick. Straight up, just send us this year's pick. I think we'd be fine with it. Trade it to the Wizards. Then give us maybe the 2029 pick, top 5 protected, and we will send you because giving you Landry Shamet, I think, is a decent 3-point shooter. I don't think there's anybody else you would care for on this roster that would you don't want Rashawn Holmes back. We know that. Kyle Kuzma, sure. There you go. And I don't want to trade Kyle, but he says Harrison Barnes and Kevin Huerter right there. We just got ourselves 2 picks What do you guys think of this? Supposedly the Kings get worse, but I personally think Kyle Kuzma better than Harrison Barnes. Kevin Herter and Landry Shamet, basically the same player. And guess what? Landry Shamet is 5.8 or yeah, $5.8 million cheaper. And I guess your money monetarily, this does nothing for you money wise. But you get guys. First off, Kyle Kuzma's contract's descending, so it helps you out there. Plus, if you really wanted to, you could probably also try to exchange another contract. I don't think Corey Kespert or Denny Abdia are available, so I just don't think that's going to happen. And I think, yeah, like the Wizards are one option. Another, if they want a microwave, what if you church Kevin Herter, Harrison Barnes for Tyler Hero, and this is where I think I get, and who's winning this trade? I feel like they'd have to give up the 13th pick in this year's draft because I think Tyler Hero is better than whatever. Wow, really? So this deal would, oh, so we'd the Heat would still have to give up money. The Heat can't just do this deal. I guess we throw in Jovic, and I guess Caleb Martin would have to be thrown in this deal, but and I think they love Kevin Love too much to be like, oh, here you go. But for example, what if they just threw in for shits and gigs Orlando Robinson and Thomas Bryant just to make the deal work? And there you go. The 13th pick, Harrison Barnes, Kevin Herter for Tyler Hero, Thomas Bryant, Nikola Jovic, and Orlando Robinson. I'm not saying that's like a realistic trade, but there's legitimately worse trades that people make on the internet. So I'm gonna say blow me. That one's not that bad. I think that was better than the the first one we did with the Wizards. I think the Wizards one was a little, we were trying to do stretch it a little bit more than I think was possible, but it's going to be interesting to see how everything plays out, especially with Harrison Barnes. I think Harrison Barnes might hold a bit more value than Mr. Yeah, he holds more value than Kevin Herter. I think Kevin Herter's problem is the contract. No offense to Herter. I love Herter and I will defend Herter, but I think it's the contracts that makes him a bit tougher of a pill to swallow in terms of a trade. So I think that's the bigger issue when you look at a guy like him. Like, how do we make sure that that actually is possible? It just is a little bit harder to explain, to say like, oh yeah, Herter's worth 18, what is it, $16 million? Like, I'd rather have Luke Kennard in that case. But